Hi, and welcome everyone. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you for kind of a surprise. It's Monday reading time. I never get to do these on a Monday, but here we are. So let's have some fun with it. I did put out 3 tokens. This time they're more than tokens. They're beautiful flowers, natural flowers. Go ahead for yellow, white, or pink for your grouping if you like. All of the crystals are from Asia somewhere, but they are in the theme of turquoise and coral, which then led me to saying, okay, we're doing a serious nature reading today, inspired reading. And also by one of my favorite quotes comes from author Linda Hogan. And I recently picked up this book, so I haven't even read it, but we're going to do a little intuitive pull of a quote or a word out of that book at the end. Hopefully I'll remember. Okay. Anyway, go ahead, pick your pile. As I always say, though, a little disclaimer. Even if you pick a specific group, I will probably wander all over the place and cross-reference the groups. So just be prepared to off-road it. Okay, here we go. We're going to be working with decks, the fairies, the forest, the animals, and crystals. So let's get into it. All right, your first message up is Princess of Autumn, studious, responsible, cheerful, mischievous. And the little extra message down here is happy news about your career promotions or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. All right, then we had 2 fairy cards for each pile here, for each group. 7 of Autumn. And the message down here is have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. Okay, so you got actually 2 autumn cards, if that's significant to anyone. I know in North America we're in spring, so I guess in North America, sorry. Northern Hemisphere we're in spring, so Southern Hemisphere is entering in fall, so this might appeal more to the southern half or to everyone, we'll see. And then we have the Dragonfly Spirit Change, and that's a beautiful card. Right away, I see a waterfall and the pool and the lotus and the fish. I think that's a koi fish. But it's funny because I chose this backdrop today, and what do we have? We have the waterfall, and then down here, I don't know if you can see it, probably not. I gotta move some stuff around. And we're gonna have the wandering cam. You know, I've got the lotus and the fish, so very appropriate. Whoever got number pile group 1, you're vibing on the same vibe. Here's the setting. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to turn all of the cards over and then we'll get to it. Okay, number 13 for the spirit animal. You've got this adorable cat with wings. Okay, and it says, cat spirit, claim your independence. If you know cats, I don't even think I need to read anything into this card, but we'll get to it and see how it all connects together, hopefully. Okay, then we're going to go to a Crystal Grid Oracle card, and it's by Nicola McIntosh. Beautiful set of cards here. And actually, you happen to get, we got more feathers in the background, wing idea. And we have number 19, Angels, Selenite and Angelite. And what a beautiful grid that is. I'm not going to break down or analyze the grid or read into that. I'm just going to kind of show you some of these cards. And again, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to really read it. It still may have significance to you, however. So I always invite you to kind of read along with me here. See, the most, spot on reading for you is going to be what resonates and clicks with you. And there's no harm, no foul. If this pile doesn't seem to be singing for you, go ahead and watch the other 2, see what works, or 1 or 2. All right, so here is Apophyllite, and we have Stay Positive. So I'm actually not very familiar with this crystal. Perhaps you are, but that's a very good message, of course, stay positive. So let's see. Let me take a look at this and see how we can put this together, if it wants to be put all together. I want to go with, first off, I'm being led toward the dragonfly, and bear with me, I'm trying to work with this. Okay. I'm being led with this one to kind of carry the theme of this grouping. So Dragonfly Spirit Change, and obviously, let's see what we've got here. Hang on. It's interesting because we've got a very spring-like feel, and we're talking about change, and then we get into autumn, with these 2 cards. And I'm sorry, I'm not being too cohesive here, but let's just see. So we've got we've got a mix of messages all over the place, but what's very interesting is, and I'm looking at these fresh as I turn the cards over with you, but look at this one. This fairy, because this comes from the Fairy Tarot Cards deck, she's got actually dragonfly wings. Very interesting. And she's got, okay, the studiousness, let's see. So even though this is kind of one of those work hard, play hard cards directly, because she's studious and responsible, but also cheerful and mischievous. So she's diligent, got the nose to the grindstone, but also knows how to balance and manage her time to have some fun and be creative. Probably a bit of a prankster, I would say, as well. So we've got the volumes of books behind her, but the look on her face is, she's like caught in the middle of an act of like going to do something sneaky, which is incredible. So it's also a message of the more knowledge you have, the more you have to work with, and the more you can wield your full power, for good or evil, kind of tongue or joke, tongue in cheek joke. People say, are you going to use it for good or for evil? Well, when you've got all the volumes of all the knowledge and the practical experience on your side, and you have your mind open and your heart open to the wondrous and the magical, man, you've got it all at your disposal. So it looks like she's almost like caught mid-act, and look at her book is even levitating. So it's kind of like, oh, I came into the knowledge of sorcery or some, pretty wild powers, and I was just about to use it, and you got me. So anyway, maybe that applies to somebody. Maybe you're on the leading edge of something. Maybe you are discovering some new powers that are activating within you. I just got, incredible, powerful healing through the hands and working with people come to me, just suddenly activated. Now's the time of discovery. We are going to have a lot of these things, innate talents we never knew we had, are just going to start activating all of a sudden. Maybe you've already noticed some, and if you haven't, they'll be coming, because I always talk about this, I know, but the planet is shifting. The energies are changing. I think, even if you're not really actively spiritual, let's just say, you got to be noticing, some big changes happening on the planet. And that means that, new things are going to be happening. A new day is coming, and it's not gloom and doom. It's good. It might not be the smoothest ride. It might be a little, rocky and bumpy, but that's all part of it in the discovery of what's going to be going on. So anyway, it's just a little note to be prepared. You might be coming into some knowledge, and don't worry if you kind of get caught in the act. I was kind of through a whole chain of events this year, kind of forced to be outed, so to speak, that I'm a healer. Yes, I can heal with the hands, the old typical Bible, laying of the hands to heal people. It's a real thing, and we were told all of us can do it. So there should be no mystery there. Anyway, that just all comes to mind. Now let me pull up this card. Again, kind of keeping the target so I don't fly too far all over the place. Dragonfly Spirit Change. Let's see what we have with this one again. Seven of Autumn. And we got this young lad. He's eating apples and having a good time. And again, pardon the focus. My camera selectively focuses. He's got more of butterfly wings and sitting on some gorgeous pumpkins. And I love the energy of the orange, typical American pumpkins. They have such a beautiful energy to them. And this is the one where we said, have patience and don't worry. I think the key thing there is don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. The prudent investment of time or money. So I think, time is so elusive. And I think also along with the shift, many of you may note that time seems to be flying by. I guess at other times it seems to be at a standstill. But even the young children, it totally reminds me of this. I've asked a lot of small children, hey, is time going fast for you? Because I wanted to make sure it's not just an age thing. As you get on in years, that it just seems to go faster. And no, even the smallest kids are saying, yeah, it does seem to be going by pretty fast. So the thing is that, of course, we also know time is elusive, because if you're doing something you enjoy, like he seems to be maybe a bit daydreaming, just really enjoying the heck out of that apple, or thinking about what he's going to do next with it, if he's going to toss it at somebody or in the trash or somewhere else. But the thing is that when we're enjoying something, time can also seem to go really, really fast. Or it also, can seem to be a standstill, but like in a savoring kind of spirit that you're just enjoying every single last moment out of it. So I would just say, look, don't worry is so true. You could be worried about something that might be coming up, a decade later. Like, how am I going to be able to pay for something? How am I going to be able to do this when my small kids grow up? How am I going to be able to do all of that? And that is just a waste of time. If you literally just sat on a beautiful pumpkin and soaked in the beautiful energies and trusted that the universe, God, Source, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to, apply a picture, a face to if you need to, or just a beautiful like sunshine, light as being the source, whatever you want to do, or sparks flying. It's the God spark, all of it of creation knows how to bring you and your loved ones exactly what they need. And sometimes it's not our job to have it all figured out. Most of the time it's not. And also remember that each individual you might be worried about, if it's about a person, they have their own path, and their higher self and their soul knows exactly what it's doing and what it needs to call in. So truly, it's so, so true, yet so hard to do for us. But don't worry. Do not worry. Okay, I harped on that. I went a little too much, but it is what it is. Okay, now number 13 can also be a 4 for anybody who's tracking through numerology. And talk about don't worry. If you know cats, they don't give two flying whats about anything. Just keeping the flying theme in here. They really don't care. They do not. And, they are fiercely independent. Yes. They selectively come in, of course, for love and attention, but they don't have to have it. They can kind of take it or leave it. They do want to be lauded and praised and admired for their beauty, of course. Look at this. We've got all the ornamentation. And that is a true Leo, especially in the zodiac astrology, especially with the males. I guess the females too. It's all about, admire me, look at me, and, I'm going to make myself look my best and present myself my best. And look at the cat's always grooming itself and whatnot. So, but back to our theme of change with the dragonfly spirit, this one does have wings. And so, we don't typically see a cat with wings, at least I haven't. We all know the expression when pigs fly. I haven't heard of when cats fly. Although I think in the gaming world, there's this like weird flying cat. I forget what he's called, begins with an N, but it's kind of funny. But the point is that this cat, of course, there's an odd relationship. It's kind of odd to see wings on this. And yes, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, because usually they are the predator, and their prey is the one with wings. And so to me, it's not like a when pigs fly moment. To me, it's the integrating of when predator and prey are one. And I know that might sound strange, but to me, it's almost like, with change and the shifting energies on this planet, I think we're going to be more and more in tune with kind of the other side, so to speak, or the person in our mirror, where I talked about it, touched on it briefly in the last reading, where you might, as you start to consciously, your consciousness starts to evolve, you start to evolve. As this planet shifts, you're not going to be able to but help to do it, because that's giving us a boost to do it and look and feel things in different ways. But you start to see yourself in everyone. I mean, that happened to me over the weekend. I was in a very large bookstore, and I started looking around, and I'm like, oh, that's the me that would have been a student in this area of study. Oh, that's the me that would have been a grandmother with like 10, grandkids. Oh, that's the me that works here and does this, this, and this. And it's actually a really beautiful thing that starts happening, because you really just on the most basic level in the heart space really feel it. And then you feel the bigger connection that we are all one. And it doesn't matter what our quote unquote role here is. When they say all the world's a stage, we're but mere players, loosely paraphrasing that, famous quote. It's true. We're just playing different roles. I can, go to the store. I could be the clerk. I could be the person bagging the groceries. I could be there, the dad. I could be the mom. I could be this and that, I could be driving the truck, delivering all of the supplies. I could be in the packing plant, packaging it all up. You get the idea. But the point is that the deeper you really look, and, the cats, also too, can really see deeply into things, and we all laugh, and joke. Not all of us, but you know what I mean. When the cat walks in the room, looks just past your shoulder, freaks out and runs out, and you're like, oh, holy crap, what did they see, right? They're seeing the spirit world. Should I be afraid, right? Or they're just totally messing with you. But, they can really see into things. And obviously, you see the cat paired with the witches over time, as the kind of a divining, more in touch with the divine. And anyway, that's all I'll say about that for now. I mean, at the heart of it all, see, we do have the heart space. The cats are natural healers, as we know. Just to have a cat near you, listen to the purr, the vibration, the sound, the tactile part of it can heal, not only the sound. And of course, petting the fur and feeling that full connection from the cat to you, and that electromagnetic heart space exchange, that, measurable pulse, and, just the magic in that, I think does, allow one's soul and spirit to fly. So that's what I'll say about that one. Okay, and then of course I'm laughing because we've got the rust color. Some people call ginger color. I was just watching a cartoon yesterday with family, and they talked about the cat being a ginger. So that reminds me of our autumn color, you know, with the pumpkin and all of that, tying that in together. Okay, now we will get to the crystal. We'll do the angels selenite and angelite. And for this one, I'm just going to leave it to you to kind of take a look at. It's 19, which could be a 10. Correct my adding here. It's still early for me when I do these things. Which could also be a 1. So you have the 1 and the 0. So the 0 point of creation at the very beginning of creating, and the 1, the actual, you know, beginning. Beautiful colors and stones. If you've held any of these in real life, they just do have just a beautiful heavenly quality to them. And I'm just going to leave this to you to look at and see if just the graphic of this and the patterning activates anything in you or leads you into any other, what do I want to say? Just takes you anywhere you need to go. All right, so again, angels, and we've got the angel wings that almost looks like, you know, on the cat. All right, now let's get to the last one, the apophyllite. And this one, the message was, once again, stay positive. And that is self-explanatory. You've got the cheery, you know, yellow flower. And so it all ties into a very positive read, I'd say, when you've got yellow flowers, you know, angels, cats, healers, beautiful pumpkin energy, and the dragonfly. You cannot go wrong. So I hope you enjoyed your grouping, and we're going to move on to the next one. So here we have the white flower, and again, very heavy Native American vibes coming off of these crystals with the turquoise and the color of the coral. And of course, so many jewelry inlay is made with these two out in the Southwest United States for sure. All right, so let's get into some of the fairy energies. Let's see what you have here. You have 9 of Spring. Beautiful card here. And the message is protect the fruits of your labors. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. Environmental conservation. All right, that's one of the fairy messages. And the other one is 10 of Spring. How funny. We had a pairing of autumn in the first deck, and now we have a pairing of spring. And this is a beautiful card. And yeah, bear with me on the focus on this camera. Oh, this is really beautiful. Okay, and the message here is ask for help from others. All work and no play. Being weighed down by too many responsibilities. Wow, this really echoes the first reading in a slightly different take on it. So we had an all work and no play in the first deck. You might want to check it out. But this one also is conveying that message, but in a slightly different direction. So of course, I don't know, you know, what your references are from, but in United States, right away when I look at this, that's the old Cinderella story. You know, she's in a bit of the tatters and the rags. She's just doing all the work, no excitement, no fun. She dreams of the ball, but look at it, it's all behind her. She can't see it in front of her, is one interpretation of this. Or actually looking at her face, I think the more appropriate interpretation of this is that she's confident and she can work really hard, and she knows she has the magic behind her supporting her. Look, even that like white fiery, looks like a little being in there, could be like the fairy godmother over her shoulder. You know, she's got all the magic at her disposal when she wants it. So that's another secondary theme on this, besides what they're talking about. But it is true. Do ask for help from others when needed. We don't have to shoulder it all ourselves. And if you think about it, if we take on all the burden, then, you know, that leaves no room for any other people to experience things and grow themselves. And there's so much that you learn through not only just working, but really hard work, as much as there is too from learning a whole or just experiencing a euphoria from the opposite with the play and the magic. We need it all. You know, we came here to this earth, you know, to experience it all. You know, the hard work moments, the, you know, the rest, and the absolute magical and enjoyment. So that's all I'll say about that. She just seems poised, is my point. She doesn't seem, even though they're saying, you know, all work and no play, she doesn't have the soot and dirt on her face. You know, she seems like totally poised. And with the 2 baskets on each side, you know, across her shoulder, she's not like slumped down and almost touching the ground. She's not bent over. You know, she's still carrying them, you know, relatively easily. And they are balanced. You know, it's not like one has a ton of boulders in it and the other has feathers. So anyway, she's able to carry the load, I think, like a lot of us do. It's like, no, it's okay. I'll handle it. I'll do it all. I can do it. No problem. But you know what? There is a time to free yourself up. Sure, we all know you can do it. We can do it. But we can also share, distribute that load and make time to have more fun and make time for the magical to enter into our lives, because it's hard for it to come in sometimes if we are, too entrenched in work. Okay. All right, let's leave that for there. I don't think that's our overall message, though, like I did with the other pile. Oh, bear with me. I'm going to put that back there this time. Let me see what this one was again. Protect the fruits of your labors. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. Environmental conservation. Okay, I'm not sure yet what we're going to do with this one. So I'm going to put this back here as well, because actually an overall message might come from another card yet to pop up. So let's look in the forest energies here, and we have Stag Spirit Leadership. And we have had this card before. I've had it before, like in a solo message, just featuring this card. It's beautiful. What do we have? Sorry, when I look through the viewfinder, it's different when I look elsewhere. So it looks like we have a 39. So it's a 12, which is a 3 also, if you're looking at numerology. And I did cover this stag and not quite ready to talk about this one yet. But we have leadership here. Okay. We'll get back to that. Now we'll look at some of this deck. 2 spirit animals popped up, unlike the other ones that just got 1. And you've got the glorious dolphin spirit. This and that are true. And look at this magical card. Really beautiful. Number 20, which is also a 2 if you're looking at the numbers. We've got gorgeous, almost like a fuchsia bent to it. Violet, pink, all about love. And this beautiful, this could also be a lotus. Looks like a lotus that's just, exploding with beautiful sparks and magical things. Okay, so this is actually a pretty magical deck. She's got all the magic behind her there. And things opening up, like also with this little fairy, all those daffodils, I think they are, or paper whites, something, all in full bloom behind her. Okay, we'll keep going and let's see what other messages we get. But this and that are true. Okay. And we have, oh my goodness, another dragonfly. Dragonfly spirit. The first deck had it too. Truth transcends illusion. More lotus, more water, and a beautiful blue-violet dragonfly that even has a crown. So right away we're kind of led to the crown chakra of the indigos and blues turning indigo here. And 22 is a master number. It's also number 4. And I do invite you, I don't think I've mentioned it recently, to go look at the Australian blog site called Joanne's Sacred Numbers, Sacred Scribes, Angel Numbers, and you type in any combination of numbers. It can be single digit or however many digits you want, and it gives a beautiful breakdown of the positive aspects of the numbers for numerology if you're interested in that. Okay, so we have truth transcends illusion. Absolutely. I think that's our focus. I'm going to just go right to it. I think that's going to be our focus card to just remember for the reading. Okay. Truth transcends illusion. This and that are true, Obviously, we have a theme moving on in here. What is true? I can give you the very simple answer for that. Anybody will argue, well, that's not my truth, and this is my truth. No, that's not true. You know it's true. You already know it's true. It's whatever your heart tells you is true, your heart space. That's the truth. That's what we're here for. So no matter what you see in the outside world, let's say the leadership, you lead from the heart. You lead from the heart space, never the mind. The mind can be deceived. Some could say, oh, well, you can get fooled with the heart, with love and all of that. Well, really, that's a combination of the heart and the mind. I think a lot of the trickery and the addictions and all of that always lie in the mind, never in the heart. So if you can separate out what you're seeing and what you are feeling and what you are seeing are 2 different things oftentimes. So what you're looking at with your physical eyes is what can be deceived. If you really break it down and go to the heart, you kind of even know you're being duped in love if you just let yourself drop down out of the mind and into the heart, if you're in that situation. But a lot of times we just override with the mind and don't want to listen to the heart, which is really kind of telling you the truth of the situation. All right, that's all I want to say about that. And this, it just reminds me again of that. And again, I said it in another show. I don't want to talk about Michael Jackson because it's very controversial and, good and bad in there, for sure. But, it's like the song Billie Jean. I think it's until the lie becomes the truth, if you say something enough or convince yourself of something enough, it's just all about working real hard, back to our, like, work and play card. You're working real hard to convince your heart of something that's not happening. Okay. That's enough on that. And of course, this comes up, love, I would just say the theme here is true love. What is that? Love that cannot be duped or altered or made to look ugly. Love is simply what it is, and there's no lie in that. That is pure truth. And we have the number 25, which can also be the 7, rose quartz generator. This is a beautiful card. Again, I leave it to you just to look at it, see if it activates anything in you just by looking at it. Activating it, can also just mean something in the heart or also in the mind or a vision or something. This is just an exquisite card, though. I'm really captivated by that center crystal. All right, and then let's look at one more crystal card. Oh, this is my favorite, actually, one of my favorites, absolute favorites, and it's chrysoprase, and that is also a heart chakra crystal. So it says, allow yourself to receive. Absolutely. And what did we talk about earlier? Back up in our 10 of Spring card, it was, ask for help from others, so that you can receive with open arms. And I know for a lot of us, it's so much easier to give than receive. I'm one of those. I love to give a lot, and it's, seems to be harder for me to receive, although I've really worked on it, gotten much better about the receiving part. I'm just holding these up as a reminder of the heart chakra, which is pink crystal, and the green crystal represent that. But what I've gotten into is just, if somebody gives me something or wants to, I just say, I gratefully receive. Thank you. So just start practicing that, or whatever phrase works for you. And if you already gratefully receive, great. Keep going and keep using your creativity and heart space to be giving and kind. Okay. All right. Let's keep going now. That was the second grouping. Now we're going to move on to the third, which is, you've got the magenta flower. And let's look at the fairy energies. Princess of Summer, gentle, sensitive, kind, inexperienced. Just going to look at the imagery. Okay, message here, a new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events, a compassionate friend you can share your concerns with. All right, well, we're going to just kind of look at some of these cards first and see what our overall message is going to be. Princess of Winter, inquisitive, truthful, realistic, undiplomatic. Guess, undiplomatic part, they're tapping into kind of an ice queen kind of thing, but I don't get that vibe from this card whatsoever. She's got pink, violet. Again, the pink is the heart chakra. Violet goes on up into the crown chakra. She's owning herself, absolutely. She knows who she is, and she's got a beautiful snow leopard at her side who's gazing across. Now, we had the cat animal spirit in the first deck. You may want to go look at that too. In the first grouping. And what a gorgeous big cat that is. Okay, let's see what else we've got. So the message, information that can help you, but which may also be difficult to hear. Speaking the truth with kindness, an indigo child or adult. All right, well, we did also talk about truth as a heavy theme in the second pile. You may want to, go check that out. And I'm still looking to see what our overall message is for this particular group. We have, for the forest energies, Wizard of the Woods, focus. Okay, let's see. All right, so that's number 50 or number 5 for anyone who's looking at the numerology. So this one's kind of goes without saying. You can focus your gaze. Excuse me, he seems to be pretty focused, but also not really focused. He seems to be having that soft, doing that kind of soft eye meditation right there. But the focus is moving through him and into his hand. It's all focused into this ball of light, whatever he's spinning, right? It almost looks like the center of the Milky Way or center of the galaxy with the sun and stars and things swirling around it, right? He's got the whole world in his hand, so to speak. But let's keep going. I don't really feel like that's the key message. We'll tie this all in together somehow. Let's see if it wants to be. Then the other, you got two Sacred Forest cards on this one. Everyone else got one. Crystal Cave, trust. Okay, we've got a beautiful crystal cave, beautiful crystal behind her. And again, we've got the pinks and purples, much like the girl in that winter scene. And she, again, has this, we've got a trust theme. She's got this beautiful, beautiful golden orb and light It almost looks like what it feels like in the heart when you're sending out love, except it's moved to the outside of her body in front of her. It's very much the center. There's a triad being formed between the crystal in the lower right, the left, and her, the point of her head. To me, that's a very strong triangle, the Trinity, whatever you want to look at it. So it's a very sacred and holy moment. To me, you know, those are the little sparks around her, reminders. It's actually, to me, the reminder of the creator, the source of all of life, is what she's holding, which is within us in our heart space. And little sparks flying off are the infinite levels of creation, the infinite, you know, sparks flying off are us as the sparklers off of the main, little sparks off the main sparkler, so to speak, or like the little candle light coming from, you know, the master candle from the sun. Those are just all kind of little impressions I'm getting. She also has what looks like, if I'm reading this right, that looks like, again, sorry for the focus on this camera. I think she's got a more of a pure crystal in front of her, which would represent like pure quartz, which is an amplifier of all these energies. So this is just an exquisite card. Number 9 is the number on the card, which is actually completion, a number of completion. So here it looks like she is trusting. She's already learned or just innately knows simply to just be and trust and just be that God spark, be that light. And that is in and of itself the beginning and the end, the circle where there's no beginning to that circle or the end. You just jump in on any part of it. And it is absolute completion and perfection. And you just trust in that. There's nothing else. That's truth in nature, truth in love, truth in it all. So actually, I'm going to vote this as our overall message here to kind of keep a key focus on. Okay. You know, when we've got focus, again, he's got that like soft gaze, but the focus we could say is in the hand, but it is also the power generating from his heart space that moves that power. And all right, let's keep looking now. Let's look at your spirit animal card. All right, you've got number 14, which is also number 5. Again, beautiful purples and violets in this card, even greens like the heart chakra. Really beautiful with the flowers. And this is the chameleon spirit. Act as if. Okay, that's interesting with this whole grouping. So let's just see what else we get to. If there's any other messages to tie it all together. We got that beautiful green again. We have clarity, Herkimer diamond, number 36 or number 9 for completion. I'll leave it to you to look up the properties and the healing properties of the Herkimer diamond. They are numerous from what I'm told, and it only comes from a specific region, I believe, in the northeast coast of the United States. I mean, I'm sure it exists somewhere else, but that's what they're saying lately. All right. I'm not going to go too much into that symbolism, other than I do love that we've got the pairing, if I can do this, you know, with the greens, you know, with this chameleon card. And we have, again, act as if. That's interesting. Let's see where that leads us. I'm going to see if we have any other messages. You also got two, this was actually a group of abundance, number 3, because double cards popped out everywhere where only singles wanted to come out for the other piles. All right. Oh, I love this one too. This is Chrysocolla. Start fresh. Okay, that's a beautiful message. Look at the beautiful blues and greens. Chrysocolla is beautiful. Actually, chrysocolla means something to do with gold. If you look up the Greek etymology for it, so I recommend you do that. I don't remember the full explanation, but it's a really beautiful origin of that word for that stone. Okay, and then this one is Unakite, live in the now. Okay, so start fresh, live in the now. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but I love how we've got this kind of coral turquoise theme going on and tying into, you know, what I said at the beginning. We've got the kind of very Native American feel. I know this is group 2, but I said it, I hope I did at the beginning. All of the stones and all the piles this time, you know, became to be this, you know, coral and turquoise theme, evoking the Southwest Native American culture. Anyway, so do take a look at those if they mean anything to you on your own time. Look into it deeper. So for this overall message, you know, we've got trust, and I would just say, you know, given the other cards, it's kind of really trust in your own power, trust that there's something bigger. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I want to pick up. No, you know, I don't want to get into specific messages of the fairy cards this time, other than, no, there's really not too much more. I think I just want to focus on, you know, the trust theme. And this one had me a little curious, though. Act as if. Let's see if there's anything we want to talk about. Act as if, chameleon spirit. See if that evokes anything in you. I'm not getting too much other than I know there's an expression, and actually it irks me to no end. I cannot stand it, just personally. You may love it, that's great. But I really cannot stand it. And if anyone puts it in the comment section, I'll just laugh. It irks me, but I can also get over it. But I really can't stand the fake it till you make it expression. I really can't. Why? Because I believe in being absolutely true and authentic. And that if you're pure and have that purity of spirit that you are as you are. And hey, if you want to act as if and change things up and reinvent yourself, I'm not talking about that. That's great. That's creativity, that's expansion. But I'm just talking about if things are really, all, SHIT is hitting the fan and you're just saying, oh yeah, everything's great. No, that's what it reminds me of when they say fake it till you make it. No, 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 no. There's also a way of just saying, okay, I'm experiencing this. It's not good right now. It does feel like SHIT. I feel like crap. I'm not going to fake anything. I'm going to, feel it and let it move through me, and then it can be healed, and then I can move on, and I can control the pacing of that. So I don't need to fake anything. I deserve a crap day. Everyone does. As much as they do a glorious, fun, and like timeless, I'm just having a great time kind of day. And so I that's just the act as if just bothered me with this card. But anyway, I would say more of, just reinvent yourself. There's so many colors, and I've said it in a previous reading, just the colors in the rainbow even. Those are just the ones we see on the visible spectrum as human beings right now. A lot of us are getting upgrades with the shift on this planet and seeing deeper, seeing into more colors. Supposedly, when the whole planet shifts to a 5D state, we're going to see colors we never even knew existed. We're going to be able to capture a whole wider range of things that are just even more vibrant, even more inexplicably beautiful. And that's what this reminds me of, all these little jewels and gems of colors dripping down. We're going to be able to see a lot more beauty coming our way. So we won't need to act as if. We're just going to be as if. We can create anything and see into anything we want. All right, that's all I'm going to say for now on that. Now, what I'm going to do for the close is I started off doing this in the last reading. Just for fun, I am going to take this book of one of my favorite quotes ever coming from Linda Hogan. I'm not going to read that quote on this one. I did cover it in another show. But what I'm going to do is just do a little one of these intuitive readings. I'm going to just close my eyes, take a deep breath, really breathe in the oxygen into the stomach. And that's also another message. We all get caught up in things in the day, where we start shallow breathing just because, oh, I'm doing this and that, or you're fearful, or, starting to worry about something. Just stop, drop out of your head into your heart space. Breathe in through the nose deeply, exhale through the mouth, and really imagine all the cells in your stomach just celebrating with joy that you're giving them good oxygen for once and not just keeping it trapped up in the chest. So here we go. Okay, and I'm just going to tune in into a minute of what message might want to come through, or word or expression, just something in this book that might click or mean something to you all out there. Okay, so let's go. I'm feeling, my eyes are closed. As I've said in the last reading, I usually open with my left hand on a book and point with my right. You can do this too as a great way to start practicing intuition. And here we go. My finger landed here. Or we might see nothing more than a group of gypsy ravens flying across the white sky, crying out that the wolf pack on earth beneath them has made a kill. Okay, the birds are companions of the wolves. All right, so this is obviously in our nature theme. We're talking about ravens, wolves. We might see nothing more than a group of gypsy ravens. Okay, well, all I'm getting with this for right now is it's the idea of what are we seeing? And we talked about it in one of the earlier groups, when you're seeing with your physical sight or you're seeing with your heart space. There's a big difference there. Are you feeling somebody's energy right away when you walk into the room? Usually we all do that subconsciously before you even actually see them with your physical eyes. Or are you getting lost in the physical appearance of somebody and not allowing that heart connection to come through and give you the truth in the situation? So what you might glance at, you might see nothing more than a group of ravens flying. And with the work that I do, if you've watched any of my other sky observation shows, that hits home for me, because a lot of times, and actually it goes back to group 3 with this chameleon changing, kind of camouflaging card. There's a lot that if you just give a first glance to something, you're going to miss the deeper meaning or the deeper feeling behind it. So in my sky observation work, obviously, I'm looking up and you could just say, oh, that's just a cloud. But as we look deeper and put more and more energy into it and feeling into it, and just start to actually combine and unify the sight plus what the heart feels, because a lot of times I just feel what might be up there and take a picture before I even actually see exactly where it is. And then as I do enhancements on the photos, it gets clearer and clearer. Oh, we're looking at this. You know what? We have the clarity card. Yeah, there we go. Clarity card with the Herkimer diamond. So the point is that, when we're looking, what are you really looking at? What are you really seeing, and how are you seeing? I guess I just leave it at that. And things can be in disguise, but like with the chameleon and with the craft cloaking up in the skies that I capture. But how do you know what is true? Back to group 2. And as I said, it's what the heart tells you. The unfiltered heart, the pure heart, without the mind getting in the way, trying to override and tell the heart what to do. All right, I think I'll leave it at that. Or should I get one more last bonus card for anybody who just wants one more little word, color, phrase? You know what? I don't do this, so let's do it. Why not? I'm going to do a lightning round and pick just the first card off the top of each deck that I have on the sides for clarity. Just see what we get, and I'm probably not going to elaborate because I'm probably going to have to shut this video down. Okay, for anybody who wanted to know it, number 6, the Lovers. This is from the Fairy deck. It's a beautiful card. Oh, look at that beautiful glow when they connect. True love that is long-lasting. Choices made from the heart. A return to good health. And I just made a big deal about letting the heart lead, right? All right, let's do another one. Wild Rose Fairy, love. Okay, well, there's a love theme coming through strong for one or more of you. Beautiful card. Number 47. That's 11 or 2. Okay. All right. And let's go over to a couple more over here, and then we'll wrap this up. Ooh, okay. We had ravens in that passage, and now we have a crow. 17 or number 8. And I'll repeat this about the crow. Okay, crow spirit, co-create with spirit. Absolutely. I did mention in a previous show, there's an excellent YouTube channel. I think it's called The Raven Diaries, where there's one of their videos shows an exact comparison, the similarities and differences between crows and ravens. And I found that very interesting to watch. You might too. Okay, that might be the message there. And then let's see. I don't know why. Oh, let's try this one. Oh, you know what? This one I had as a bookmarker in my passage from the Linda Hogan book, but this is 41, number 5. Beautiful little nightingale with a crown. Love is all around, like these little trumpet flowers. Beautiful. I'm going to take one more from the top of here because that was just my bookmarker that I randomly had picked. We got one more bonus here. Number, I think it's 50. Again, sorry about my focus on this camera. And we have Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle. And look at the swirling spirals, which it's said in some, like in the Celtic cultures and other pictographs, that could very well be, also I think in the Native American culture, could very well be the symbolism for going into another dimension or interdimensional. Okay? And I do believe that's true. All right, we'll do an extra crystal grid and a crystal card, and we'll wrap it up. Ooh, we had this in a previous reading. Inspiration, the chrysanthemum stone, number 23 or 5. Very much has some beautiful sun energies behind it. We had that in the sun. The reading I did before, that was all just the sun cards. I pulled all the sun cards from all my decks. All right, one more. Ooh, of course. Rose quartz, open up your heart. All right, this is a hands-down love-oriented reading. So if you weren't thinking about love, well, it might find you. And if you have only love on your mind, you'll probably find it everywhere you look this week. So anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it, whether big or small. And if not, no worries. But I wish everyone all the best. As always, tremendous peace and love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.